not definitely not one thing. Self-consciousness is the most important one. But again, what makes us self-conscious? Is it us? Is it an experiment? Is it an accident? An unintended byproduct? Something went wrong or nature fell? Let's see what happens. I don't know. God's gift.
ನೀವು ಅವತ್ತು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ನನಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್, ಟೈಮ್, ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಾಲಿಟಿ. ನೀವು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ನಾವತ್ತು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಪೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
See, initially I started with this scientific theory. It's like what is holy grail of science, the theory of everything. It's like I was interested to write about this. But through my research and everything, I personally felt science won't be enough to get to the ultimate truth. Science will fall short of religion, of course cannot be. Science has to be in a certain way. Science is there's a logical track, evidence, logic, proof, experiments, observations, calculations. It has to go like that. It is good. The science goes like that. So because if one thing can be justified, we will give an excuse for this one, then it will become like religion. Any mumbo jumbo will become science. That is good. But that itself is a limiting factor. I am not saying that ultimate truth or the existence is not logical. No. It is not illogical, but it is beyond logic. It is beyond logic. Our science institute, see, why science is finding impossible to know consciousness? Because the scientist is consciousness. The scientist himself. But he is putting MRI machines, fMRI scans, studying some other's brains to find the consciousness. It's like you are finding yourself. You want to know yourself, that you are consciousness, right? You are consciousness. Science can never find, because consciousness is not subjective. Consciousness is not objective. You can scan, brain is objective. You can scan the brain, you cannot scan consciousness. Consciousness is subjective. That's where spirituality comes in. I've written something about it. It's like we need science because religion doesn't have all the answers. We need spirituality because science doesn't have all the answers. Spirituality is not absolute in any way. There are no scriptures. Everything is a stepping stone. Even if God comes, stepping stone. It's very fancifully said in the ancient Indian law. Even if God comes, you ask him, like, how can I get enlightened? How can I be liberated? How can I be free? Again, in the path of devotion, God is your ultimate. Akamadevi, Rumi, Jesus, Krishna. These are all part of devotion. Buddha, Mahavira, Lao Tzu, Bodhidharma, many others. They are all part of intelligence, questioning, logic. They devotedly looking for God. See, in the path of intelligence, there is no God as such. There is godliness. No God, godliness. In the path of devotion, there is always two. There is a devotee and there is a God. If there is no God, whom will you be devoted towards? You need a God. That God can be anything. Some see Shiva as their husband, some see Jesus as their friend. So whatever you want. It's a devotion. Devotion, don't confuse it with this religious devotion. You do 5 times a day, you go once in a visit church and come once in a Sunday for 1 hour, good. No, the devotee is 24 hours devotee. He is drunk with devotion. Bhakta Kumbhara, Kanakadasa, Purandaradasa, Akamhade, Mirabai, Rabia, some Zen masters, Chaitanya, Nagarjuna, any number, Rumi, Nanak, Kabir, drunk with devotion. They don't care about the system. Ramakrishna, drunk with devotion. For them, everything is something else. It's crazy to be devotee. I know I am much of 10 to 15% devotion. It's very beautiful. There are no questions.
Devotion
Towards the existence. When you look at the flower, tears will flow. Just listening to some music, I'll break from inside. Tears will start rolling. Blissful, boom. Intelligence, very rarely it happens. Intelligence is very arduous path. But it's interesting. Lot of reading, questioning, logic. Devotion is not logical. Just like love. Love is not logical. If you dissect love logically, what is there? Doesn't make sense. You're stupid if you love. If you look at it logically. Think life is logical. Life has logic. It's really not logical. Every day you get up, brush your teeth, take a shit, eat, work, sleep. Do this for another 50 years and die. Logically, it doesn't make sense. But thank goodness, logic is not the only dimension. But we need logic, of course. In fact, if one begins to search for the truth, I personally always feel you have to be very logical. Highly skeptical in the initial stages. You by yourself have to drop logic. It's not that somebody else convinces you. That is very ugly. You yourself should come a point. You should be aware. Okay, logic is very good, but it cannot take you to the ultimate. It's like bullock cart is good if you don't have a car. Bullock cart is good from going to Modigan to Chikmagalur. You can go and reach. If you want to go to the moon, bullock you can bang the bulls, but going to the moon is not possible in the bullock cart. It's like that. For utilitarian purposes, logic is good. For objective things, logic is good. If you take the same, okay, forget subjective, quantum world, logically it doesn't make any sense. Logic breaks down there. It should be here, it's everywhere. If you measure it is here. If a conscious witness observes, things will be different. We don't know whether it's alive or dead. I had seen a trial. Schrödinger says the cat is in the box, and Schrödinger says, I don't know whether the cat is alive or dead. And the cat will say meow. It's like, sure. Sure. So it's like that. We don't know. Just in the quantum world. Beyond the quantum comes the non-physical realm. That consciousness is not physical in nature. It's subjective. You cannot touch it. See, consciousness can see, can witness it. Eyes can see. Consciousness can witness. Consciousness can listen, hear. Consciousness can feel, but consciousness cannot talk. Consciousness cannot talk. This is not the consciousness talking. I am conscious of what I am talking. I think most of the people should. Most are not conscious about what they speak. See, if it wasn't for our such a sophisticated subconscious mind, I think humanity would have been more conscious. Right now, you can go from here to Chikmagalur not even consciously thinking about it. Subconscious, autopilot, it does everything like this. Everything. Drinking, sleeping, eating, shitting, everything is automatic. Everything. Cycling, walking, everything. Even sex.
Pause ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಕಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ
ಈಗ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ
ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ
ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ 2 minutes